Royal watchers described the lavish wedding of Prince Charles and Princess Diana in 1981 as the wedding of the century. However, at the time the economy was in a deep recession, unemployment was rising, and Margaret Thatcher's Conservative government was in turmoil. The election of Mrs. Thatcher's Conservative government in 1979 had also seen the implementation of economic policies designed to tackle inflation. Although inflation was falling by 1981, unemployment was still rising, and the recession was now in its second year. By April 1981, unemployment exceeded 2.5 million, having stood at 1.5 million 2 years earlier. And England had become embroiled in serious riots across many cities, caused by a distrust of police. They were perceived as race riots between communities. Recalling the 1981 wedding for Amazon Prime's Princess Diana, behind the headlines, Jess Cagle, editor at People magazine, said it was a dark time for England. He added, "The economy was terrible. The royal family was just considered by most people in England as this artifact that really resented having to support." Kim Hubbard, associate editor at People magazine, said, "People were really anti-monarchist at the time. The country was in a really bad state. There was my mum who always reminds me the bins weren't being collected, there was garbage everywhere, you'd have electricity strikes. And then you had these people who just inherited power and were extremely privileged, and there was a lot of resentment. And people started to question, do we need this monarchy?" However, for the British people, the wedding of Charles and Diana was a breath of fresh air from the stream of bad news in England. Ms. Hubbard added, "And then suddenly this engagement, and what people considered to be a great love story, and this fairy tale wedding happened, and everybody just suddenly was like, we love the royals." Dan Wakeford, deputy editor at People magazine, added, "It was like the whole nation came together. And there was garden parties. There was street parties. There was a village fete. Everyone was waving flags. It was really exciting." The wedding was not a great day for Diana herself, Mr. Cagle said. He said, "Camilla Parker Bowles was Prince Charles' ex-girlfriend at the time of the wedding, and this must have affected Diana." Ms. Hubbard added, "It must have made Diana more nervous. And also, she almost called the wedding off because she knew about Camilla's relationship to Charles." The late Princess Diana told biographer Andrew Morton in 1991 in his book, Diana, Her True Story, in her own words, "I knew she was in there, of course. I looked for her. So walking down the aisle, I spotted Camilla, pale gray, veiled pillbox hat, saw it all, her son Tom standing on a chair. To this day, vivid memory. More than 2 million people lined the streets of London to watch the royal wedding and Prince Charles and Diana's procession from Buckingham Palace to St. Paul's Cathedral."